Hello, I'm Carolyn Herbert from the Finance News Network, and joining me from soon-to-be-listed fintech Kyckr is Managing Director David Cassidy. David, welcome to FNN.
Thank you.
Now, can you start by giving us an introduction to Kyckr?
Sure. Kyckr, previously named GBO, Global Business Register, was founded way back in 2007 in Ireland. And initially the business was founded by two founders, Robert Leslie and Ben Cronin. And Robert is very much so a luminary globally around security, identity. Ben was previously a rugby union player for Ireland, but became quite a successful, businessman in his own right. And the issue they saw in the early 2000s is, the whole 21st century theme, where it's a borderless world. Who are you doing business with? In particular, the complexity of doing businesses with other businesses. And again, it's even more complex as a bank. Who are they really? Is it the correct legal name and address? Who's the directors? Where do they live? Who's the shareholders? And the issue for them is the 21st century theme is about fraud. It's about terrorism. These are the things we're trying to protect against in this new world.
Now, taking a look at your offering a little more closely, who are your customers and what's the key market for your services?
Yeah, our customers are predominantly banks. And as you can imagine, banks trying to identify businesses they do business with, in particular where they got hundreds of thousands or millions of business customers, is a real challenge for them. And the biggest challenges, in particular post 9/11 and post GFC, the regulation has increased dramatically. If you like, it's like molasses in them trying to identify who they're doing business with and realize revenue from them for business customers in particular.
So how do you differ from that of your competitors?
Sure. Well, here's the epiphany for most people. There's a whole world out there built on sand, and very much so our business model is an interrupter model. And the world of sand is that banks and other sectors have previously made these decisions off old copy data. Indeed, today, to the best of our knowledge, no other company in the world offers the means whereby which you can make a live decision of the most compliant source, where we are connected to 153 business registers around the world, which is considered a golden record when you're making what's called a KYC, a Know Your Customer decision.
David, we hear about blockchain and how it will transform verification of transactions. What is it and what are the implications for Kyckr?
Sure. Blockchains really has its origins, as most people understand, in Bitcoin. So what it is, simply put, is it's a network where there's a securitized form of identification around transactions and other things. And for what we're going to do, it's much simpler, actually. We're really producing a means whereby which that corporate identity is encrypted and protected on this network, and the network then self-replicates that information around all the nodes in the network.
David, now to your IPO, how much do you plan to raise and when are you expecting to list?
Sure. So our raising is minimum 5, maximum 6 million, and that's based on a plan that we believe will take us through to profitability. We're not of a view we have to do other raisings post-IPO. On a pre-cash, our valuation we hope is very low ball to give us interest on 15 million, and we envisage that we list towards the end of July, all things to plan.
Thanks, David. And now to financials. What are you expecting in terms of growth over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Sure. Well, one of the important things to understand about Kyckr is that we've had an old business model that was based on the provision of our services using people. The whole new business model is about automation. So our forecast and the business that we will be in the ensuing years is very different from what we've been before. So as a consequence of that, we're seeing already this year our growth being multiple of our revenue in prior years. And we expect to see that ongoing across the next couple of years. We're the sort of business that I think FY18 in particular is a big year for us. We see that as a year where we'll be talking about enterprise ratios rather than customers. We're not a business that needs 1,000 customers. We'll have the top 10 banks in the world, the top 10 tech companies in the world, and we have a mechanism whereby which we charge for every single customer on a per click basis that we manage for our clients.
And finally, David, where would you like to see the company a year from now?
Well, very much so. Strategically, our plans are about establishing a 24/7 global compliance hub, with Ireland managing Europe and the US, and Australia managing the APAC and West Coast US regions. So we really do need to establish those bases with the support for sales and also support for the provision of services to our existing global banking and tech clients today. So getting that foundation in place is critical. It's a large part of what underpins the needs and the use of the IPO funds, number one. And number two is getting in base that volume of management of business records for our clients, because that volume gives us the foundation for our revenue to grow, where we dig deeper and deeper in the provision of service to our clients. So the volume base and the strategic hub globally is the objective for the next year.
David Cassidy, thanks for the introduction to Kyckr and good luck with the IPO.
Thank you very much.